You did it! You've hit the jackpot! You finally struck it rich in the lottery. Congratulations! It's all smooth sailing from here on out, right? Not exactly. Getting a sudden influx of money comes with a whole new set of problems. And if you want to be problem-free, go ahead and click like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right now so you don't miss any videos. Lottery winners are more likely to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years than the average American.
I declare bankruptcy!
Suddenly, that limitless supply is gone. It happens more than you think, but there's a special kind of lottery winner, let's call them dumb, that blows through their cash in style. We're talking crazy purchases, broke within a couple of years, ridiculous extravagance. Oh, and drugs. Lots and lots of drugs. These aren't lottery winners that caught a bad break. These are the absolute dumbest lottery winners. Number 10. When you come into a lot of money, the smart and responsible thing to do is to invest it, right? So good job to Jonathan Vargas. When the then 19-year-old won $35.3 million in the US Powerball lottery in 2008, he made the admirable adult decision to invest that money for his future. Here's the thing though, Jonathan, partnering with former professional wrestling manager, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, to form your own all-female pro wrestling promotion called Wrestlicious, probably is not the best long-term investment for your money. The show featured busty women in skin-tight costumes, sketch comedy, and Vargas in his own on-screen role as J.V. Rich. They produced one season at tremendous cost in the hopes of being picked up by a network, but they never were. Bleacher Report ranked Wrestlicious number 11 on its list of the 25 worst wrestling promotions of all time. Number 9. Most people consider lottery winners to be super lucky. But sometimes we get the feeling that certain winners would have rather stayed out of the limelight altogether. In 2009, Alaska held its first big money lottery, and 53-year-old Alec Asok won $500,000. When Asok was interviewed about his winnings, he claimed he would be donating $100,000 of it to an organization called STAR, Standing Together Against Rape. People applauded the move because, hey, cool, you're donating a huge chunk of your winnings to charity, good for you. But almost immediately after that, it was revealed that Asok was a convicted sex offender. And not just once or twice. Yep, that's right. Alaska's lottery was won by a 3-time convicted sex offender that had served 4 years in prison for molesting 2 girls under the age of 13. Soon after that, Asok was walking down the street in the middle of the afternoon and a stranger hit him over the head with a tire iron. Maybe just play scratch-offs, dude. Number 8. Tonda Lynn was the Waffle House waitress with the lottery-winning gift that just kept on giving. Tonda and 4 of her coworkers regularly pooled their money to buy lottery tickets. When one of the tickets that Tonda had bought for the group ended up being a winner, she claimed the $10 million prize for herself and said that a customer had left her the ticket as a tip. No matter what you're ordering at Waffle House, that tip's got to be way more than 20%. Tonda decided to receive the winnings in 30 annual installments of $354,000 each, but she was told that the winnings had a competing claim. Her coworkers sued her for 80% of the money, and to protect it, Tonda and her dad decided to form a corporation and put the money there. So Tonda formed 9 Mil, named herself president, with a 49% stake and her family a 51% stake as she intended to share. Her coworkers were not able to collect since a verbal contract was not enforceable when it came to gambling. When she was finally able to collect, she signed the winnings directly over to 9 Mil, 49% to her and 51% to her family, and thought everything was fine. Well, turns out she made a pretty substantial gift to her family when she did that, and the IRS contacted her asking when she intended to pay the $771,570 she owed. Number 7. Andrew Jackson Whittaker shares the first part of his name with the US president that's on the $20 bill, which is appropriate because Andrew Jackson Whittaker liked to keep most of his money in straight-up cash. Whittaker was already a very well-off businessman that owned a contracting firm when he decided to buy $100 worth of lottery tickets in West Virginia. Whittaker immediately added a whopping $314.9 million to his net worth, and he was ready to start spreading the wealth. He put his granddaughter Brandy on a $2,000 a week allowance and gifted her 4 cars. He gave the deli manager who served him his sandwich at the store that he bought the winning ticket a house worth $123,000, as well as a Jeep Grand Cherokee and $44,000 in walking around money. And for some reason, he liked having his money in cash. While he was in a strip club, thieves broke into his car and stole a suitcase containing $545,000. Whittaker didn't stop with the cash-filled suitcase because it happened again at another strip club and he lost $200,000. His granddaughter's boyfriend died of a drug overdose and his granddaughter went missing and was found dead shortly thereafter. Whittaker accumulated massive gambling debts and was sued by a casino for bouncing multiple checks. Whittaker has gone on record as saying he should have torn up that winning ticket. Number 6. Callie Rogers hit the lottery jackpot in Britain in 2003 when she was just 16 years old. The high school student won around £2 million and was immediately besieged with requests for money from friends and family. She bought her grandparents a house, loaned $20,000 to some friends, gave another $13,000 to some distant relatives, and then started splurging on what any teenage instant millionaire would buy: drugs and plastic surgeries. The money catapulted her into a hard partying lifestyle, and she needed the cocaine and boob jobs to keep up. These days, she's in her 30s, the money's all gone, and she says living the way she is now is how she prefers it. Number 5. Remember those weird little stores in the mall that sold knives and old-timey swords? David Lee Edwards does. David Lee Edwards was a Kentucky man that won a $27 million Powerball jackpot in 2001 and lost it all by 2006. Within months of his win, David bought 2 houses, one for a modest $600,000 and the other at $1.6 million. Then, to go with the houses, he bought some cars: a $200,000 Lamborghini Diablo, a $90,000 Dodge Viper, and a $35,000 Hummer golf cart. Oh yeah, and he bought him and the family a little $1.9 million private jet. And everywhere he went, David decorated with his collection of antiques, swords, and armor, which had over 200 pieces. Like a lot of lottery winners, David ended up broke, addicted to drugs, and eventually died of an overdose. Number 4. William Bud Post only had $2.46 in his bank account in 1988 when he won $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery. Bud pawned a ring for $40 to buy a ticket. Talk about luck. Unfortunately for Bud, his luck ran out after he won because soon after, his estranged brother hired a hitman to murder him. Bud survived the assassination attempt but was then sued for his winnings by his sometimes girlfriend. She was awarded 1/3 of his winnings, which he refused to pay. By the end of his life, Bud had acquired $1 million of debt. Number 3. Denise Rossi shocked her husband in 1996 when she asked her husband of 25 years for a divorce completely out of the blue. Her husband, the judge, and her very own lawyer were even more shocked to learn that she hadn't told anyone about her winning $1.3 million in the California lottery just 11 days before asking for the divorce. The public records were just a little hard to hide when the sides started their investigation. Oh, and hiding a large sum of cash like that is against asset disclosure laws. The judge ruled against her, probably because she admitted in a deposition that she had hidden her winnings as she didn't want her ex-husband getting any of it, and her husband ended up being awarded all $1.3 million. Number 2. John Ross Jr. is one dumb dude. Southerners would say about him, well, bless his heart. Ross won $2 million in the California state lottery and declared he would use it to get his life back in order. Ross also promised to buy himself a car. He said that he had never owned a car and he wanted to change that. Then, just a few months later, John Ross Jr. was arrested for stealing a car. Ross didn't steal the car himself. He was suspected of being linked to a stolen Honda Civic, which he may have helped a woman hide behind a local residency in repair. Some habits just die hard. Number 1. If dumb lottery winners had a mascot, it would be Michael Carroll. Carroll was a garbage man in England when he won close to $10 million in 2002 at the age of 19. Immediately, it was a race to see how quickly he could blow money on drugs, parties, jewelry, and cars. He bought 3 mansions and completely destroyed them with his parties. Local police had to set up a hotline just to field complaints about him. He gave money to family and friends and frequently flew to Costa Rica for the nightlife and brothels. Carroll says it was the cocaine that did the most damage as he snorted away all his houses. During the 10-year period that Carroll enjoyed his upper crust status, he appeared in court more than 30 times. The money's all gone now. He lives in Scotland working as a coalman, 7 days a week.